Now with the Steam Next Fest over, I can focus on demos again separate from the said event, where that is all I play in that week. I can use the demos from the Next Fest that I didn't get to, ones that I found out after, and demos that did not participate and released after the fact. For starters, I wanted to get to Riff Fishing, since web fishing made my top 10 games of 2024. Unfortunately, web fishing stopped getting updates after the developer was doxxed. Very unfortunate that select players did such a thing, but is becoming a common thing in today's era of the internet. Web fishing was the revival to the chat room games a lot of us remember in the 2000s like Toontown, Habba Hotel, and Club Penguin. If you were not around at that time, be sure to check out Luce's video about how web fishing revived the dead genre. You'll see it on screen. Riff Fishing looks to be web fishing's spiritual successor, even bringing back the person who made the menu music for web fishing. The game feels a lot like the original. You play as animals who hang out catching fish. You gain new equipment that makes catching more difficult fish easier. The biggest difference between the two you see on the surface is the visuals. Web fishing used a lot simpler color palette, whereas Riff Fishing is more vibrant with its colors. Web fishing also kept a lot of its absurdity hidden, like secret items and locations. Riff Fishing has a lot of it front and center. Players can fish in the tidal rifts from the beginning and catch fish exclusive to it. There's still a lot of fun community activities, like drawing pictures and new side things to do like skipping rocks, dice rolling, and throwing paper airplanes. I have hopes that it will be the proper successor to web fishing. My biggest hope, personally, is that the absurdly massive fish still make an appearance. Some of my favorite moments in recent years was seeing a giant fish whale that a player had caught from the other side of the beach. With Riff Fishing being an early access game, I hope they hear my cry for really big fish. One that had a little bit of buzz in the Gaming in the Wild community was Forbidden Solitaire. Some were saying it was trying to be Inscription, which got my eyes on it. I love my play of the big hit from Dan Mullins that was released 5 years ago, so Forbidden Solitaire immediately got on my radar based on that alone. But really, I didn't see that comparison between the two games other than the visuals and a bit of the breaking the fourth wall. When the demo started, I thought the game had minimized and my own lock screen happened, but this is part of what immerses you further. Having you play on a PC to play a CD of a 1995 game that should not have been released, as the description says. You have an in-game friend who messages you about their experience and discoveries about the game's release and backstories about the developers. That adds to this discovery of what the heck happened to this game, why it was controversial, and why it is at a thrift store to be discovered instead of being thrown in a landfill like E.T. on Atari. What the basics of the game is, as expected, is like Solitaire. Cards have to be one step or below a card. But where it gets interesting is that it mixes Solitaire with dungeon crawling. Not that you are playing cards to navigate the area, but the cards are dealt when a situation arises, even in combat. Each scenario feels like a small twist of how the cards are dealt. We aren't talking as extreme as the variants in a Solitaire mystery, but even things like finding keys for a locked door are part of it. Overall, I really want to see where Night Signal will take it, both in the Solitaire aspect and the lore building of the original release in 1995.
A group of demonstrators gathered outside the Heartblade Interactive offices this morning in protest of a controversial new video game called Forbidden Solitaire. The game, a dark fantasy adaptation of the classic game Solitaire, recently found its way to stores and quickly drew criticism from parent groups for its violent content.
Finally, the demo I wanted to talk about most. To the point I moved a lot of my episode plans to make room for it. Raccoin was a game that I had playtested a few months ago, but when I played it, it didn't really grab me. The game got back on my radar when John from Gaming in the Wild talked about how addicted he was just to this demo during the Steam Next Fest. So I decided to give it another go. And as you can tell from the start about me talking about it, the demo was a hit. I don't remember it being the playtest, but the tutorial gets you thinking of what combos you can build and why it is needed to get horizontal or vertical clip expansions. It probably was there, but it's been months, so I don't remember. One thing I did remember is that I had a hard time knowing if I should prioritize tickets or coins for future. One of the reasons I enjoyed the demo is the look. When you boot up the demo, it lets you choose how sharp or grainy you want the visuals to look. I settled right in the middle, so I kept the CRT lines. You can kind of see that I tried to do a similar aspect with the thumbnail. I have nostalgia to coin pushing machines in arcades growing up. Actual machines that use real money are illegal in the majority of the states, which I had no idea until this game. I never really understood the idea or purpose of them when I saw them. I always simplified them to just putting coins in and hoping for the best. Which, other than the bit of strategy from which side has more coins, that wasn't too far off from what the machines themselves are. What the demo helped me to see is how explosive it will all look on screen. You get those combos going, and even when you would technically end your run, the game just keeps on going. I love when roguelike games allow you to break them. I said the same thing about Nubby's Number Factory last year, which gets a mobile release on April 15th, by the way. And while the game doesn't flat out break, the extent the game gives you coins is just a lot of fun. The very first time I saw a tower of coins added, just by chance, I was pretty well dumbfounded. One combo that I had were bunny coins. When two bunny coins are close to one another, they breed one or two new bunny coins. That new one coin or pair can mate if another is close. Rinse and repeat until the combo stops. How I always judge if I like a demo is if I go back to it after finishing the demo or when I'm done recording B-roll. Both Raccoin and Forbidden Solitaire were ones I went back to. And the biggest reason I moved things around to have Raccoin on this episode, today is the release date as I am recording this. I had such a good experience with it. It is sitting in my Steam cart to purchase once I finish editing the video.